guys fire away.
Hey, Coach, what are a few things you'd like to see the team do better this year? Yours is a completely different year, but some things that are better.
I would say it's really not about comparing last year to this year. I think it's more about maximizing ourselves and finding our own way, because we are going to have new guys in new roles. I think that's really what it comes down to, and finding our chemistry as a staff, finding our chemistry as a team. Ultimately, I think that's probably it, and then continuing to grow as the season goes on.
Right, you lost so many key players, great leaders from last year. You got a lot of new faces this year, but arguably the best offensive player in college football coming back, the best tax player. What advantage does that give you to kind of
Well, they both, on offense, Jeremiah certainly, requires a lot of attention. So he makes everybody else on the field better because of that. And we have a lot of weapons on offense. So it takes some pressure off the other players. It takes some pressure off the quarterback. It puts more pressure on the coaches to find ways to get them the ball. On defense, Caleb is like a coach out there. This is somebody who not only sets a great example on the field, but off the field and how he handles himself. If you've been around him today, you just see the way he's like a pro. When he speaks, he's thought it all the way through. And I think that the guys recognize that. And when your top players are your hardest workers, then it just sets the right culture moving forward. So to me, that's probably it. And then, as we solve problems and continue to grow as a team, and on each side of the ball as the season goes on, those guys will lead the way on it. And again, when your best players are your hardest workers, and you take a guy like Sonny Styles, he's one of the best players we've had in a long time at Ohio State. I just believe he's going to have a great year this season. And he's one of our hardest workers and a great leader. Just another example. You guys didn't get a chance to see all of our players today, but I think, some of them may not be as well known as the ones we just talked about, but soon they will be.
Ryan, how much of an onus do you have to put on the quarterbacks immediately next week when you start camp, knowing what you have in front of you? The last time you guys opened with a big opponent was Notre Dame, and you had a returning star. Now you have two quarterbacks battling. How much pressure do you have to put on those guys?
As much as possible, yeah. That pressure started a long time ago by me, for sure. I just think that's how you do it, and then you can kind of build their confidence as you go. But you gotta provide that pressure so that they understand what comes with being the quarterback of Ohio State. And it's our job to make practice harder than the game, and to put them in game situations, and then see how they respond. And then when they do have success or failure, how quickly can they learn and grow and get better from both of those types of things. So that's our job as coaches, and I'll be right in the middle of it.
Ryan, last year, people out there would say that Ohio State was the team that NIL built, whether right or wrong. What would you say this team, how it was built this year to people?
Yeah, I don't think that we really listen to a lot of that stuff. I think people ask me all the time about how, when you're at Ohio State and you're in the public eye, how do you shield that from the players? Well, you can't, because families read it, the kids read it, recruits read it. So you don't get away from it. But at the same time, I don't think it really affected our team, because the truth is, we knew that wasn't the case. When you start to find out maybe what some other teams were, providing their players in terms of NIL, you realize that maybe it wasn't that out of whack. Actually, I know it wasn't. But that never really, decided who we were as a team. It was about a bunch of guys who decided to come back. And the fourth and fifth year seniors are the ones that really galvanized the team when we went through adversity last year. And that's the same thing with this season. We feel like we have a bunch of guys who, every time they hear about last year's team, and they hear about the guys that left, I think it just motivates them more, because they're tired of hearing about that. This is their team, and that's good. We want an angry team playing against Texas 39 days. So, it's yet to be seen, but the work ethic's been there, and I think we're all excited to see what this team looks like.
Ryan, how important is it to get the quarterback situation settled early rather than late, or does it not matter if it goes pretty deep?
As you know, I've never really had a feel for when the right time is. I think it's important for the locker room to believe in what it is. I think that's, for me, being a quarterback and being around it, when the locker room believes in that guy, that's the right time. If the locker room doesn't believe in one, then you kind of keep trying to give them opportunities for someone to grab onto the team. It didn't happen for Will until he got into that preseason last year, and then everyone in that program knew that it was his team. So we'll see where this goes. I think everything that they do in July and June and May and has led up to where we are right now, but they got to go do it on the field.
Ryan, what are a
do you
few
think
things
there-
you like about each quarterback? What are a few things you like about him?
Start with Tavian. He certainly has the size, the makeup. He's a great young man. He's very intelligent. He's athletic. He can throw the ball. I think he's got a really bright future ahead of him. Julian certainly gets the ball out quickly. He's had a good off season. He's intelligent. He really, is very competitive. He's got good athleticism. He is accurate. Lincoln is just a tremendous athlete. You pick a sport, he can do it. He's like a 4 handicap. He can hit the ball out of the park. He's a Major League Baseball prospect. He can windmill dunk. Like, he can do a lot of things. He's also very intelligent, been in the program 3 years. So they're all exciting guys that, we want to develop quarterbacks. We don't just want to bring in guys through the portal when we have to, or, when we're left in that situation, we will. But we want to develop guys, and these are all 3 guys that we have developed and want to continue to develop.
Ryan, how do you, generally speaking, to tell a well-compensated player that somebody who might make less money than him is going to play more?
Yeah, best players play. I mean, that's the way it goes. And we usually don't want that to happen because of the culture of the team. So we try to project that out the best we can. But that's going to happen. It happens in the NFL and it'll happen in college.
Do you think there was more chaos in recruiting this offseason, maybe because a lot of the NIL collectives were trying to front load their deals, and there was this rush before the House settlement? Did that affect you at all?
I think it affected everybody. I think we're all trying to figure out. I think we all know now, as things have changed year after year, as we all know. We all understand how the revenue share is working, how it's going to work. I think what we're looking all for clarity on is how the third-party NIL deals will be regulated and how they'll be handled and enforced moving forward, and how those who don't disclose deals will be enforced and penalized.